first impressions of Dwayne getting him out here on the field?
I've been positive. It's been a good experience so far to get to know him, get him some plays, and watch him learn, and then watch him take him to the field. Yesterday, he had a great day. Today, the defense played a little bit better, but, it's just a matter of progression right now and installation, and we're at the very bare minimum right now, but very impressed with his skill set for sure. Can really spin it.
Jay, speaking of that installation, what do you try to get out of him for this first couple, as you lay that foundation in this first 3 days of minicamp? What do you try to, what are you impressing the most on him?
Well, first, when you're starting with the quarterback, it starts with the basics. You're talking about huddle. He's a guy that didn't call a lot of plays in the huddle. So we're talking about breaking the huddle and calling plays in the huddle and snap count, getting guys lined up, and then obviously going through his progression, his footwork, not only in the passing game but in the running game. It's just a lot you're throwing at him. And, it's a long process, but he's a bright guy. He's wanting to work at it, and he will work at it, and I was impressed.
Knowing him, he'll want to start week one. What was that conversation with him about the trajectory he's on and when those decisions get made down the line?
We're going to go at it, throw the ball out there, let these guys compete, really. I think he obviously displayed enough of a skill set to warrant the 15th pick in the draft and to give him an opportunity to see how far he can take this thing, without a doubt. Been impressed with obviously the other quarterbacks that we have here. Case has done an excellent job, the little bit that we've seen of him. And then Colt's obviously rehabbing. Josh has done a good job as well. So it's a good group, and competition will be there.
You say it's an open competition at the quarterback position?
Yeah, for sure. We have to have that. Yeah. Case, obviously coming up with the most experience is great. Colt's got the most experience with this terminology and this system. Then obviously Dwayne, the first pick in the draft, or 15th pick in the draft. So, we'll see what happens.
With Montez, now that you've gotten to see him a couple days, what stands out to you in terms of what he can maybe do right off the bat? And in terms of starting, he's the other first-round pick. Where is that thought process at this point?
Yeah, I have no doubt that he's going to play a lot. Obviously, the skill set that he has is quite evident. You see his length, and then you watch him run after practice, and he's faster than anybody we have probably right now. He's got great length, great speed. Now it's just a matter of transitioning him into the defense, both base and sub front. So we'll see how he does, but definitely impressed with him, with the athletic body of work that he has. Now it's a matter of getting him ready mentally and working on the fundamentals, obviously, that go along with playing outside backer and defensive end and sub. He just was fast. He's fast. He's fast. Yeah. He eats up ground when he runs. It's like 3 strides. He's all the way across the field. It's crazy.
When we talked on Monday, asked kind of how you thought this would be different, having a rookie quarterback that was going to be in the mix come the fall. Now having gone through it, what was different about it than previous years?
Well, I think, I think it's just kind of neat to have a quarterback here that you draft that high, and you come in here and you give him a set of plays and go out there and work with him and watch him spin it. It's just been a treat. I think he's made some throws that, that turn your head without a doubt. There's some things we obviously will clean up, and that's going to be the case every single day that he's here. But without a doubt, I think to watch him throw the ball to the receivers that we have in here, he had a pretty good group of receivers as well. Some of the free agents that we signed, TJ and Steven Sims, they were good. And obviously Terry and Kelvin were excellent. So it was good to watch those guys run around.
When you talk about with the way he throws the ball, is it how cleanly it comes out, or does it jump off differently?
Yeah, when he's got a clean pocket, his feet are there, man. He's just a big, solid, fundamentally sound guy, man. And he's just a big presence in there. The ball jumps off his hand. But he also has the ability to speed it up, and he has great touch as well for some of the short balls. We shortened it down in one-on-ones today, worked some red zone stuff. Just want to see his touch down there, and I was impressed with that for the first time working with the wideouts in that period. So, but he's displayed that he can make, in a short period of time, all the throws, the deep ball throws, the 20-yard dagger type throws where you have to line it, and then the touch throws, the anticipation type throws. He kind of displayed a little bit of everything this 2 days.
And you talked about the footwork the other day. What have you been able to accomplish in that area with him?
Well, that's just that's never gonna. We're never gonna stop working on footwork and fundamentals. That's something that, Case and everybody's gonna be doing. And if Alex was able to practice, he'd be working on that. That's something that quarterbacks will always work on, not only in the pass game but the run game, out of the shotgun, under center, That's something that you have to be consistent with to give yourself a chance to get your body in the right position to match up the timing with the route concepts that we have. It's a critical part of playing the position.
Jay, obviously, Vinny Papali's last name jumps off the page, but what is it about his game that led you to invite him here, and what did you see out of him the last few days?
Well, he's a tough guy, and he runs everything hard. He plays with a lot of passion, without a doubt. Very similar to the movie, right? I was just impressed with him. There's a lot of guys that came out here in a tryout type basis that were very impressive. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of spots right now this time, so won't be able to sign a lot of them. But some of these guys did jump off the tape the last couple of days. We're going to go as a staff and watch the tape again and see if there's some of these guys that we can bring to our 90-man roster.
Pairing Dwayne and Terry as college teammates, what's the upside of that for young guys coming in?
I think just a comfort level, having another guy here that you know and you're comfortable with. Dwayne's a great guy. He gets along with everybody. But to have a guy that, you can talk to, hang out with at lunch or whatever the first day of school, so to speak, I think it's just a comfort level. And you can see they have a natural relationship throwing and catching the ball with the routes. Terry was very, very impressive in these 2 days with his speed and his ability to get off the jams and make plays down the field. So easy guy to throw to, fast and kind of big.
You said Kelvin looked.
Jeez.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Really excited to ask this question. It's my fault. You said Kelvin looked excellent today. What looked excellent from Kelvin on the
I
field?
like his size. When you watch him on tape, you don't realize how big he is. He doesn't look that big on tape, but when you watch him in person, man, he's got great arm length. He's tall. He looks every bit of 6'2 and a half, 6'3", and he plays to his size. He's a very quarterback-friendly target. Learning the system for the first time, the route concepts, all the different cuts we gave him, I think he handled it quite well mentally. And then now it's just a matter of continuing to work and adding more to his plate, both inside and outside. He didn't do a lot of inside work at NC State, but I think there's a place for him where he can work on the inside. Very similar to, I had Mo Sanu at Cincinnati, and he's with Atlanta now. A very similar skill set, in my opinion.
We haven't talked to you since you guys brought Kaishan on full-time. What led to that decision?
Well, I think he's going to be a great coach. I think as a player, we know what type of passion he brought to this football team. And the injury ended his career a little shorter, obviously, but he was very bright as a player, young player. He was playing safety, both safety spots, and then when we lost a bunch of corners and nickels, he ended up playing nickel for us, which is not easy to do. He obviously has passion to try to get himself back to play, but I think he's set his sights on being a coach, and he's going to be an excellent coach. He's been coached by good people, came from a good system at Virginia Tech. He's going to work hard, and he's very, very bright.
Jay, Dwayne talked a lot about film study and how he kind of approaches the game from that perspective. What have you noticed with him as far as studying film, and also does that make it is it more valuable for a guy who doesn't have 4 years of starting experience?
Well, you're going to have to study film, whether you're a rookie or a 20-year guy. I'm sure the great ones, Breeze and Brady, still study film as much as anybody. That's what makes them great. So I think we're going to help them along that, teach them how to study film, what to look at in that regard. But he's a guy that wants to work at it, and he has to work at it. At that position of quarterback, you have to study, you have to work fundamentals, film. It's never ending.
You have a lot of 1 and 2 year team captains in this draft, and then Haskins. It seems like there's a lot of talk about his leadership too. Was that more intentional this year? How beneficial is it to have young guys come in with that kind of a background? I mean,
it's very beneficial, really, and it's not so much we didn't exactly target only captains, but if it's close between two players and one of them's a 2-year captain at wide receiver with the skill set that Terry had, it's an easy pick. And all the guys that we picked really have great leadership. Ross from Alabama, a great leader at Alabama. Kelvin at NC State, very productive, good leader. Obviously Dwayne. So when you find good players that also are good people and good leaders, it's a win-win for everybody.
Jay, after the draft, obviously you guys got some high marks for what you guys did, but there's still maybe a couple positions that are a little unsettled. There's starting to be some veteran free agents starting to sign with teams again. How realistic is it that you guys might be tapping into that market here in the near future?
I think we're always going to be looking for players that can help our football team. So we might have some workouts here and there, but I like where we're at every position right now. We have good depth at everywhere. There might be a position that we might add a player or two out of the tryout camp today. And then, like you said, there might be some free agents we might look at. And a lot will depend on how some of these guys go through the physicals process. You know, how quickly can we get some of these guys back on the field? Could have an impact on who we sign as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.